Hello, hello. How is everyone doing today? Do you like my Let's Go Shrifty sign? Let's get shrifty. So, how's everyone doing? This lighting is going to be weird. If I do that and I sit more over here. Better. This is better. How is everybody? I'm good. Shot my second day on Shadowhunters. It was point to the ceiling. Second day on Shadowhunters, which was like a really intense day. It was really fun. But I'm still tired from it, which is funny. How's everyone doing? How was everyone's week? What do we think of the book? Sorry we had to push to today. Things got kind of crazy. But what does everyone think of the book? How do we like, not part 2, but like part 2 of Fahrenheit 451? What are the first thoughts? Your birthday was on Thursday. Happy belated. That's so cool. Confusing. I don't know if I like it. Okay, Camille, I'm kind of on your page. I understand why. I agree. It was a great week. I wish we could get more days to relax. I hear that. Of course, Nicole, happy birthday. Love the second part, and I miss Clarice so badly. Me too. Crazy. I'm so lost. Okay, thank you, Creetriano. Was even crazier than part 1. Faber is such an interesting character. I would agree. When I read him, though, I gave him a British accent. Did anyone do that? I don't know why I made him like this old British professor. Kenzie Courtney, I totally understand. Because that's why I was like, I was 6 minutes late today or something like that. Whatever that was, it's because like I finished. And then I was like, well, let me just look at it. And the next thing I know, I'm reading the next part. I read like 2 or 3 pages. And I was like, no. Okay, so it's weird because it's interesting. But sometimes it feels like too many words for nothing really interesting. Yes. I think that's the point. It's a world without context because there are no books. Let's see if this will be the first live you don't... Maybe not. I'm British. I see where you're coming from, but I didn't do it. Cool. The Polaroids. And I forgot those were there. Just finished the book for school. You liked it? Cool. Sad to imagine a world without books. Alright, for me, part 2 was weird, but I think it's interesting that in each part so far, Montag has like found someone to teach him. Whether it was by accident, when he like would bump into Clarice on the street and they would talk and she would actually like just expand his mind, and now pursuing that. So my thing is like, what is it about that knowledge that makes you want more? It's like when someone says, I have to tell you something, and you're like, okay, and they're like, no, but I'll tell you later. You're like, are you kidding me? Todo el libro es raro, pero está bueno. By the way, the second part was a bit confusing, but it was also intense when Montag went off on Mildred's friends. Jesus, that part. I can't, like, in my mind, I see the movie scene of that scene, like, forcibly reading poetry, and then it, like, these people, like, not really wanting to hear it, but nonetheless taking it in, and then being amazed that something written can move them so. That's one thing I think of, like, what is art in this world? In Fahrenheit 451, what is art? If a poem that made someone feel something was considered to be, like, evil or wrong, what place does art have in this world? The part Montag just starts ripping the book apart to get what he wanted, that killed me. Anna Cat Fernandez, that got me too, because it wasn't so much Montag doing it, it was Faber's response. Did you notice the first thing they said right after was like Faber was white and sweaty, like looking at that. It was like he has such a mean that he couldn't even fathom doing that to get what he wanted. Yeah, it was like the first thing. Like how much does that mean he knows about like manipulation, that he was like, I know this guy, this will get what I want. I don't know. I kind of think Winston and Montag have similarities but are totally different. I agree. They're similar in this quest for something else that isn't in front of them, this understanding that there is more. But I think they're different in that Winston is just a regular person, a plebe, one of the machine, whereas Montag is part of the machine. Montag is like, I think he's the equivalent to someone higher up in the party. Like, what's his name? The guy with the glasses in part 3 that talked to Winston. I think that Montag is more if that guy were to like turn around and be like, this is all ridiculous. This is all... Ooh, sorry, I jumped way behind on comments. Sorry, guys. I wouldn't be able to burn books. Montag kind of acts like a drug addict around books. That's an interesting thing. He can't... It's like, that's interesting. What do you guys think about that? His relationship with books already. Okay. Shirley Quinn pulls out some cool knowledge. If we considered Plato's theory of art, he would agree with the government approach of banishing art because of how art can pull on people's emotions so intensely. Art has the ability to stir people to a strike. We're Waiting for Lefty was a play that came out a long time ago, and they said that the first time it ever played in the theater, it actually caused a strike. People decided to have a strike. I started chanting, strike, strike, and they went out and like started the strike and had like it was crazy. The place of art is the one of making people to connect to the world, to feel and to question it. That is an awesome answer. Awesome answer. Each man the image of every other, then all are happy. For there are no mountains to make them cower, to judge themselves against. Ooh, cool, cool, cool. Man, I keep jumping way behind the questions again. I'm sorry. Reading when he was younger, and that explains why he's so eager to think, to read, to understand. It's interesting that there's a separation from not just reading, understanding what you read. He doesn't ask Faber, help me read, help me understand. I think there's such a cool distinction. Help me understand what I read. Help me take it in. It's almost like help me be human again. That's the way I take that. I like the part where he talks about books smelling a nutmeg. That's funny. I love smelling books, and bookstores smell amazing. Books themselves, as Faber says, it's about freedom of thought, imagination and possibilities, rather than living as you've been told to, day in, day out. Okay. Not about the book themselves. It's about freedom of thought. Interesting, interesting. Oh, that reminds me. So Kat Parker, what you just said reminds me of what Beatty says at the end, where he's like, all of those books, they're all crap because I could use them against you too. So it was like that individual understanding of each book. That freedom of thought, that's cool. Number 1, quality of information. Number 2, leisure to digest it. Number 3, the right to carry out action based on what we learn from the interaction of the first two. So based on what we learn from the quality of the information and the leisure to digest it, that's cool. Art is words that you cannot speak. Interesting. Have I read A Clockwork Orange? Not yet. Not yet. On my list. Okay, that's a very good question. Nazika, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. When it was said that they put their kids in school for 9 days out of 10, how long is their week? I thought the same thing. And I think, remember, this world is completely different. And they haven't really told us much about it because of the lack of books. So this is one of the things that we're supposed to be like, whoa, weird. What if Montag was a teacher in his other life? Possibly. That's true if we think Plato's theory of the cave. The people inside the cave thought that the people outside in the real world were crazy because they knew different things. Oh, whoa, bringing it to the cave, that's pretty cool. I love that quote. I don't talk things, sir. I talk the meaning of things. I sit here and know I'm alive. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's talk about each character now, really quickly. Have like a discussion about them. What do you guys think about Beatty? What was your first impression of him? And now that we end this second part in front of Montag's house, that entire arc and this entire... Also, Faber. I don't know if Faber's to be trusted, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh my goodness, you guys are commenting so quickly. Oh, we never thought about if Faber and Clarice were related. Thank you. Katrin Moser? Katrin Moser? What about the war in the back? About bombers, jet bombs, bomb flights, but we kind of forget about it because of the book issue. Yes, we do. I think that's interesting. That's another parallel we see to 1984, except for the fact that not only the occasional bomb happens in the city, the war is ever present. Why is war such a big theme that we see that it coincides often with the manipulation of populations? Whether it be you can't read books or you can't think for yourself. Both are the same, but there's always war going on. Exactly, read Ryan as well, and that's what I'm worried about. Like, Beatty, not to be trusted. Don't trust. Beatty seems like the dangerous enemy to have. He's smart, and he likes the world the way it is. Ooh, I agree. Linda the Spud. This book was like reading somebody's dream. Anything could happen. It was confusing. That's a really good way to put it. Because there are times where it's like almost like in a movie where they do a smash cut. Which means it goes from one scene where it'll be like me picking up my Xbox controller, then smash cut and I'm eating McDonald's. And you're like, when did he get to McDonald's? They didn't show us any of that. He's just there. There are times where it feels like the book does that, which is an interesting thing I don't think I often see in books. Or at least I don't feel in this way when I read them. I love how Beatty said that people are the ones to blame and he is guilty for the loss of books. It struck me how it's not the government but the people's fault. See, and that's something I think is a paradox that people want to talk about when it comes to fascism, is that it's always the people's choice. We always choose the reality we want to live in. And we have an active role in choosing that reality. Yo, Katrin, I think his wife is shady too. Danielle, and we're in. It's so sad in that society they did not have any kind of conversation, just amply talk. Isn't that like? I always wonder, like, what are they watching? If they can't have like people affected, like when they have the three walls room, what are they actually watching? Like, what is it? Nothing seems to be happening. People are just talking. I think it's interesting that Beatty knows so much about books for someone who's just supposed to be burning them. Right? He almost showed his hand there when he was like, I can use the books against you just like you can use them against me. So is he justifying it that he's reading them for protection? Beatty, is, in my opinion, an intelligent person whom you cannot trust but is complex. Like he knows all those quotes, but books are forbidden. He knows how to read people. Cool. Beatty read the books, we know he did, and he memorized some things. Even in the trust books, he tests Guy in the firehouse. Wow. What do you think about Mildred? I think she represents the actual society. I think her and her friends do. They represent the people that are in it day in and day out. But I mean, even, what's his name, said it. And that was like, how did this poet, I don't trust books or whatever. And then he was like, no. He like yelled at her and asked about how many husbands she's had and how many abortions she's had. It's like they're all living and they know something's wrong, but they don't want to talk about it, or they don't have the words with which to talk about it. Beauty uses literature to argue why literature should be illegal. Beatty uses literature to argue why literature should be illegal. I think he's very manipulative. When he tried to calm Guy down in part 1 about the Hound, about how the Hound is just electronics, but can be programmed. So now do you see why books are hated and feared? They show the pores in the face of life. The comfortable people want only wax moon faces, poreless, hairless, expressionless. Craziness. That's one of my favorite quotes, I think. They show people the pores faces of life. Beatty is an interesting and dangerous character because he seems like he knows so much about the books, but still chooses to burn them. He's dangerous because he has knowledge and power as well. Well, that's the thing. He's the only one that could, because he could read them and then burn them. That's interesting. War is used to push loyalty towards countries and advance political agendas. Okay. Is there a movie about the book? No, but I know there's an HBO show coming out soon about it, which I'm excited now. We're gonna have like a perfect perspective for it. We're gonna read it, and then we're gonna be able to watch it. I think Beatty is this educated, perceptive manipulator who surrounds himself with literary snippets, and he's not to be trusted. All right, so we all have the same feelings about Beatty, but why not about Faber? See, I think that's something. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that character. Faber. Let's talk about Faber now. What do we think about Faber? I don't know who reported them, because that's something I want. Does the book ever, have you guys, I haven't noticed this, and I don't know if I missed it, if I didn't read it properly. They don't really say how people get in trouble. They just say that the firemen get sent to them, right? Keep the public sedated, distracted, entertained, so they don't question the world around them. Wow. The only person I trusted completely was Clarice, and Montag trusted her, but everyone else is not to be trusted. So the book but everyone else is not trusted, so the book is written so you don't trust them. Ooh. So you think the only person that Montag really trusted was Clarice. And then after that, that's a very interesting thing. I'm going to look more into that. That is cool. Oh gosh, I'm so behind. I love how Beatty uses books against Guy. Okay, I think Mildred is more aware than her society, the way she anticipated what Guy was going to do while the women were over and had a solution all planned out. I think she's very aware of her society, but I don't think I think she made that solution up on the spot. I think because she doesn't, like, completely disagree. I think that's a beginning of, like, her turn. You know, the first was the pills thing, and then the actual reading of the book. She didn't freak out and run away and tell someone. She sat in the house the whole time and was, like, equally fascinated without, I think. And then now she saves him here. She throws him a line when she doesn't have to. There's something in that. She's like the Julia, except Clarice would be more like the Julia. Okay, I'm scrolling down to the bottom. I'm so sorry. I'm skipping so many of these. Oh, the Faber ones. I don't trust Faber. Faber's a coward. Faber misses books. He lost the most important thing to him. He's a wise old man. Faber's too scared of the world to be an actual threat. I don't know. That could be manipulative, though. I don't think he should be trusted. I don't think he shouldn't be trusted. I feel like he has a lot of walls up. What do you mean by that? Maybe Beatty is good and fake evil, and Faber is evil and fake good. See, I'm thinking that too, because lately... Because we don't know. And this whole world hasn't been described to us. Faber's a coward. He admitted it. He wants to change the world, but he can't do anything by himself. Beatty knew Guy wanted to read. He was a traitor. I think once you do that, once you read a book, you're done for. Wow. You're looking at a coward, the way I saw the way things were going a long time back. I said nothing. I'm one of the innocents who could have spoken up, and now no one would listen to the guilty. I need coffee. I haven't gotten coffee today, guys. Faber's interesting. I mean, he's certainly a positive figure, but often he reproaches himself for his cowardice, which in this case is considered the cause of ethical degeneration of society. Is this weird? Something about Faber gives me like a Hodge Starkweather vibe. Whoa. I think Faber's supposed to represent the majority of us, though, as readers, and how in the world we often stand by and watch injustice. Wow. Ooh, I like the idea of printing books again. Very risky. I think it's very risky, too. I think it's super cool, and I want to know how far they're going to take that. How is he actually going to get to read to print them? Is that going to be a thing? Because to me, but that would like make this an entirely different book. I think the book is really good, although it's more difficult for me because I read in English and I'm German. Oh, wow, cool. Yeah, wow, there are a lot more numbers on the lives today. Thank you for bringing that up. We'll talk about that. Can someone give me a time check? How are we doing? You know, Kenzie Courtney, that's a great question. Does anyone else have the answer to that question? She says, what happens to people after their houses are burned and stuff? Do they go to jail? Do they get killed? Do they just have to restart? Or are they always in the fires that are lit of their houses? 25 minutes in or 25 minutes left? I started at 11:08. I'm not wearing a watch today. 20 minutes left. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. They did. Okay. This is literally a Black Mirror episode. I would 100% agree. Institution asylum. Okay. Cool. Well, that's one answer. I think it's actually smarter to make not smarter. I think the comparison of Faber to the shopkeeper in 1984. To me, that makes. I want to catch is weird. I want to sit. To me, that makes way more sense. I'm interested to see where this goes. Books were only one type of receptacle where we stored a lot of things we were afraid we might forget. Maybe Faber's a double agent. But there's something. I don't know what type of book this is, or where everything says, "Ha! We got you. We even got you." Or is this like this book? Is this one where it's like, no, you can still save yourself as a reader? I think you can still save yourself. I think 1984 is being like, look, even you would have been caught. Let's ask that question. That's a great question. Carmen. I don't want these photos showing, guys. I'm sorry. Oh God, no. Where'd it go? Everyone, we're gonna ask this question for everyone. I want to see everyone's answers. Sorry, my finger was on the microphone. If you were Montag, would you do the same in this society? Would you behave similarly? Would you be attempting to read? Or do you think you'd be like Mildred, afraid? Or would we be like, or would we be like Faber? I love that quote. What traitors books can be. You think they're backing you up and then they turn on you. I don't think it is on that situation. I can tell you I would want to be like Montag. I'd fear to be like Faber. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people would end up like Mildred. The understanding that something's wrong without the strength to even acknowledge it because of how dark it truly is. Great question. Do they go to school? Well, we know the kids go to school 9 out of 10 days, but what do they learn if they don't learn from books? Good question. I'm looking for a couple of the quotes I have. They learn from videos. Okay. One of my favorite quotes are, I love when he's like, I know, on page 100 of my book is what it is you're afraid of making mistakes. Don't be. Mistakes can be profited by. Man, when I was younger, I shoved my ignorance in people's faces. They beat me with sticks. By the time I was 40, my blunt instrument had been honed to a fine cutting point for me. If you hide your ignorance, no one will hit you, and you'll never learn. I love that. That was my favorite quote. If you hide your ignorance, no one will hit you, and you'll never learn. Why is such a dangerous word? The reason is when you ask why, you either search for an answer and gain knowledge, or you get depressed when you don't find the answer. The society hides the truth. Interesting. Sorry, guys, I'm doing a lot of reading of your quotes today. I mean, I feel like this discussion is getting very cool and interesting. But it's also weird because this is one of the fewest amount of pages we've had to talk about. Most of the time we have more. We have much more has happened. And while a lot has happened in this book, it's been what? It hasn't been that many pages. It's been 40 pages? Belongs to the most dangerous enemy of the truth and freedom, the solid, unmoving candle of the majority. Ooh, I'm going to read that, Courtney. But remember, the captain belongs to the enemy of truth and freedom, the solid, unmoving cattle of the majority. The biggest thing is how society does not want something. Yeah. Ah, my hair. Is it because we're having so much fun at home we've forgotten the world? Is it because we're so rich and the rest of the world so poor? We just don't care if they are? I think that quote is a super interesting one for right now in time, just in general. That's the good part of dying. When you've nothing to lose, you run any risk you want. I can't really concentrate when I'm reading, and I get bored really quickly. What advice would you give me? Assign yourself less reading per night. Don't think I have to read 30 pages, I have to read for an hour. Say I'm going to read until I'm bored. I'm going to put the book down. Then I'm going to read again until I'm bored. Then, find a way that it works for you. Not that you're fighting this, because then if you're fighting it, it'll always be hard. But if you work with it, it gets easier. Yet somehow we think we can grow, feeding on flowers and fireworks without completing the cycle back to reality. I want a happy ending from this book. I trust Faber. I want an ending that's inspired. I don't know if I need it to be necessarily happy, but I want it to feel, you know, all right, let me do this real quick. Let me look at this. Yo, I can't believe we only have like 50 pages left in this book. This is crazy. I'm afraid, all right, I'm going to do a prediction and then we'll talk about moving forward. Let's do predictions. I'm predicting Faber's not going to end, he's not going to be good. But I feel like there's going to be like a Fight Club type of ending where like he gets to set the world ablaze as he goes down with it. That's what I want to see. I want him to be like triumphant, maybe as a martyr, but triumphant in being like, ha. Like I want their plan of burning all the fire department houses to like work. You predict that it's going to end like 1984 about Gaia. Okay. I predict the end will blow our minds. Okay. Montag will die in a fire with the printed books. Okay, he'll die with his books. Interesting, like the lady. Or will he be disappeared? I feel like the Hound is important. How is it programmed to just like Montauk? How it came to the house when he was reading? I think maybe that it gets Guy in the end. Oh, the Hound. That's interesting to me. Thank you, Scribe Sarah, for refraining from predictions, seeing as you've read this before. And I agree with Ana Cat Fernandez, who doesn't like Dua Lipa. So, Give me a second, guys. All right. I think it's remarkable how Bradbury, in this book, expressed the loneliness of people in an extremely simple way. You can almost feel it on the pages. Wow, I agree. Okay, I'm going to throw a wrench in this too. What if Faber's actually a bad guy and Beatty's actually a good guy? And there's like a secret society of firemen that actually keep books. And he's one of them, and that's why he's read them. And he has to whip the knowledge back like that. But it's really because he wants to protect them too. Well, one thing I think is weird is like if Montag thinks Mildred is like throwing books and burning books when they're sleeping, so that's why he hid them in like the bushes. He's like, so at least she doesn't burn them while I'm gone. Why didn't she burn all of them? Why did she just do like one at a time? Asking these questions. Whoa, like Westworld. Huh, how could that be like Westworld? You think that Beatty is too shrewd to turn out good? Interesting. She didn't want to get caught by Montag. She's still supportive, but not as much. Could Beatty be the good guy? I don't know. He could be, maybe. There's a lot up for grabs here. I don't know. I don't know if you can trust anyone in this world. Taylor Diamond coming in with "Could it all be a dream?" Are you telling us this book is going to be like? That would be kind of interesting, but a little annoying. I'd be like, really? Cop out. After 1984, I don't even trust my shadow. I find it ironic how this book is actually banned in so many places. A book about book banning is being banned. Is our society heading towards the society these characters are living in? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, so we have a lot to think about moving into next week. Thank you guys for your discussion, and thank you guys for all of your questions and your thoughts on it. This book, out of all the books we've written, this book has been the one that I think has been the strangest for me. I would say it's been the strangest because it's been like, it's the most, I don't know, it's the most different. I don't know what the world visually looks like other than what I imagine it to. There wasn't a lot of description. I don't know. There's a lot in this book that I think is interesting. I think we can going straight through to the end. So, for next week, we will finish the book. It's about 50 pages, which is crazy because it's also like, this is one of the shortest amount of reading that we've, it's a smaller read, I guess. It's a smaller read. So we're going to finish the book for Saturday at noon. We're going to keep it on Saturday, unless we should stay on Sunday, because it seems Sunday works out for a lot more people. No, I'll say this book is not my favorite either. Glad we read it. I'm glad it's on the thing, on the list, but not my favorite book ever. So, we'll finish the book should we do Saturday or should we do Sunday? Because Sunday we've gotten a bigger turnout. Sunday seems to really work. Australia can't join Sundays. That's right. Damn. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it Saturday, just out of uniformity, and because we said we were going to keep Saturdays. We're going to keep it Saturdays. We're going to make it 1, though. Instead of noon, we're going to make it 1. Is that okay, or should we keep it at noon? All right. I'm going to put a couple polls up on the Rosende Reads Instagram, and we'll make decisions from there. Follow my Twitter. How does that sound? Because I think that'll be the best way to figure it out. Because we can go for percentages, and then I can just... Percentages. That's a weird word to say right now for some reason. Percentages, and then we'll go from there. So let's do that. But let's plan right now. Think Saturday. I'll put the polls up, and we'll see what's up. Are we reading the afterword of the book? I think you should do it in conjunction so we can have a discussion. So if you want, we don't have to, because you can just listen to people's opinions for that. That's something that's not that we have to read that, but I'm going to read it, some of it anyway. I don't know if I'm going to read all of it, but I'm going to read some of it. So I have a couple ideas and I have something to finish the book on. So as of right now, Saturday at noon, I'll put a couple polls up. We'll talk about it. We've got to finish this book. Then we have Catch 22. Then we have Breakfast for anyone that's curious. And then after, I was thinking of doing Lord of the Flies. What do you guys think about that? Great. Okay. I know I was supposed to have read it in high school. I read most of it and didn't finish it. So that's why we're going to reread it. So everyone that hasn't read it, you're on the same page as me. Everyone that has, awesome, congratulations. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of mixes. I'm getting yes, I'm getting no's. All right. So our next book is Catch 22, then Breakfast at then Lord of the Flies. We're going to put it on there. 5 People Meet in Heaven, another Mitch Albom book. We could do that. Is there a PDF for Catch 22? We will see. We will see. We will see. Every English class I've had has made me read it, and it's a horrible book. Well, I don't know. I don't agree if it's a horrible book. This is backwards. I don't know if I agree if it's a horrible book. I enjoyed some of it, so we'll see. We'll see. So, guys, Keep reading. Thank you so much for discussion today. Thank you for everyone that came. Sundays was fun. Maybe we'll rotate. We'll do like a Saturday and then a Sunday and then a Saturday and then a Sunday. So it works for more people most of the time, so it's not something like that. But anyway, keep being positive forces for change in the world. Keep being awesome, guys. We will talk soon. I will see you this coming weekend. We'll talk about the rest of the book. Have a great day. Have fun. Keep reading. Until next time, guys. Until next time. Peace.